Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Black People. And I'm your host, Morgan Reese, Good Morning Black People. I would like to welcome our amazing guests this afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this, to my show. Once we do our intro, we'll jump right on into it. Her name is Dawn Hilton-Williams. She is dubbed as the Vegucator and also the author of Flavor Your Plate. So once we do this intro, we'll go right into it. Hello again. Welcome back, everyone. This is Morgan Reese for Good Morning Black People. And I have the amazing, the intelligent, she's dubbed as the Vegucator, and also the author of her book and the writer, Flavor Your Plate. We have Dawn Hilton-Williams. Welcome again to my show. How are you doing this afternoon or evening?
I'm good. This afternoon, morning, or evening. Miss Morgan, I'm great. Thanks for inviting me on.
Well, thank you for taking up the time to join my show. We're just going to jump right in. You're talking about saving lives, and we're in a stage and a place in our life right now. We have a lot of people, especially in the Black community, that have so many health issues.
Absolutely.
And people are wondering, why is this happening? I'm eating this, I'm doing this, I'm thinking I'm exercising, and it got to be something that's missing. So I want you to just go ahead and just share your wisdom and your knowledge with us.
Okay, so I want to start, but again, thank you for having your platform. As we grow as a community, it's important to grow our platforms and talk about things that are important to building generational health and wealth. And this is one of those programs where you touch on all those topics. So it's very important that we support that and that we buy into our community thriving together, including health. So on that note, my health journey started with my husband having a health scare. And the health scare, I was just like everybody else. I'm 56 years old. Just like everybody else, I was eating all the things that the hooved animals, non-hooved, it didn't matter. I was eating them and I was a chef. So I was very good at cooking, and I thought I had a healthy business as far as providing my customers, my corporate and community clients, foods that I thought were grass-fed or organic. Morgan. So in doing so, I thought I was doing a great service until I found out that my husband had elevated cholesterol. He was having heart flutters and things like that. So we found out again, there was a cholesterol spike, and that was because of the dairy I was feeding him, the butter, the cheeses, all these things were very expensive and very grass-fed, and they were still very unhealthy. After the second health scare, which came 3 months later, where there was some blood in the stool, in my husband's stool. I literally thought I was going to be a widow and thought he had cancer. So that immediately took me to the nutrition side of health. I went and I joined a group, immediately stopped doing the meat and dairy, immediately stopped that because I'd already seen What the Health and I'd already seen Forks Over Knives. That made me go to a program at Cornell that taught me about whole food, plant-based nutrition. I was already in the food space, so I wiped in 30 days all those offerings off my playlist for my corporate and community clients, and I lost 98% of my clients. So for a year, I had literally like one or two clients, and that gave me plenty of time, as Morgan and I know, making lemonade out of lemons. What I did then was to invest in education. So I got certified as a whole food plant-based nutrition professional. I changed my entire business platform over to whole food plant-based. At that time, they're running a lot of the vegan faux meats and things on the market. So I didn't have to think about whatever that was or whatever that is. So I just focus on minimally processed whole plants, legumes, nuts, fruits, and grains, and how that affected the body and nutrition. So that's kind of how I got here and how I just stopped. I stopped because I had a why. And the reason, Morgan, most of us aren't well is because we don't have a why that we can grab onto that can keep us on the track of eating healthy. And then we don't really know what it is anymore. We think a salad is healthy. A salad is a cup of water. Where's we don't really remember. We got away from it.
So a salad is not healthy?
I didn't say it wasn't healthy. I said it's a cup of water. So what I'm saying is, so there are different kinds of salads, right? So you can have a salad that has romaine lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. Let's talk about a side salad. That's what most people think. They're going to get a big old bushel of salad. I'm going to eat healthy this week. I'm going to put some chicken on my lettuce and my cucumbers and my carrots, and I'm going to put some onions on there. But so the chicken has heme iron in it, and it is full of saturated fat and unsaturated fat. It's full of fat. 70% of a chicken's calories come from fat. So you're eating a very fatty white meat that looks very healthy because it's pale. So, but it's not healthy at all. Then you're drinking a cup of water on the bottom of it. Because how about just take the protein out, that thing off, and then put on the protein that the chicken ate in the first place, which are plants. So put some beans on there, put some grain, put some quinoa, put some things that have the same amount of protein and fiber, which chickens don't have. There's no fiber. They use it while they're living. You don't get fiber from animals, you get protein. So, but they get their protein and fiber from plants. So just swapping some things. And we, again, our mindset is at eating, of course we're starving, but at the end of the day, you ate a bowl of water. So we've got to stop eating bowls of water with a side of water and start loading our salads with nutrient-rich protein, very high protein, high fiber, plant-rich foods.
Okay. You're teaching me something new because as you said, the why. I had a why 3 years ago when my dad passed during COVID.
Sorry to hear
that. Yes, and when he passed, I was like, and he had every health issue in the book that I knew of until he caught COVID. And I was like, wow, more things came out. So I began eating the salads, as you said. But as you said, I was putting the chicken on it. I was putting salmon on it. So what meats or what things really are good? Well, I guess can't even say meat because you're saying protein-based. What would be considered protein-based in the vegan world?
So let me differentiation between a vegan and a whole food plant-based person. So I'm both. So I'm going to answer your question. So let me answer your question first. Your question was, what would a vegan quote? So plants. So your high protein quinoa, which is you have your beans, nuts, legumes, grains. It's a grain, and fruits and vegetables. So what you'd want to put on that are protein rich are beans, black beans. There are 800 variety of beans. It's very hard for me to give you all of them, but the primary ones we know from the grocery store that they sell at Walmart. Even in the can, you just rinse them if you're in a hurry and you don't want to soak the beans and do all of those things. You can even get frozen because frozen pick at the height of ripeness. Now that, so they have beans and things there. Beans, your grains, your healthier grains. But I would go with the bean or chickpea or bean there are just so many that equal the same amount. Tofu, if you're not in the tofu, you don't start there, right? Because you don't know, you're like, what am I doing with, what is that? And soy is going to give me boobs if I'm a man. And if I'm a woman, it's going to give me cancer. Lies, Morgan. It's all lies. I'm telling you. Actually, tofu is protective against all cancers, and it does not promote estrogen development in men in any way. But
I've never even heard of that story or that issue.
That's why you were looking so shocked. No, that's a thing that men will say, and that's a thing that some people in the vegan community even believe that soy is gives makes men have chest, and it makes women gives women cancer. It's protective against cancer. It goes to it's a plant estrogen, unlike milk, which promotes cancer because it is the lactose in milk makes cancer grow. It's almost like bringing popcorn to the movie. It's movie popcorn. It feeds them. It's happy. The butter and the dairy promote cancer growth and expansion. Whereas plant estrogen, which is also an estrogen, goes in the other direction and it acts as a protector in that hormone. So there's a split in the hormone. That's another
that's another topic. We'll talk about that in another interview.
But whole food plant-based is, a lot of people that are whole food plant-based focus on the health of the human and the human health and some of the issues of inequities. So typically that's what happens. That can also happen in the vegan world, because vegans had their various number. There's ethical vegans, there's vegans for the climate, there's vegans for the animals, and there's vegan because you're Black and ancestrally we don't need to be eating all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But what typically happens in our communities, and African Americans lead in the vegan community, 8% of African Americans are vegan in the United States. Our rate is higher than that of any other race in this country. 3% is the average American rate. African Americans are vegan at an 8% rate. So with that being said, we just need to be more careful on what kind of vegan foods we eat, because now the market has caught up with us and they're saying, oh yeah, we'll eat chicken nuggets, we'll eat processed hot dogs, we'll eat vegan sausage and hamburgers. I think Morgan, you and I discussed that. And when it's highly processed, we discussed that at our friend Sala's. Hey Sala.
Hi Sala.
So what happened in that whole dynamic is we got away from the perimeter of the store. And that's where the low caloric, high nutrient density lives, which is what feeds our gut biome and what makes us healthy, what gives us a reduced risk factor at 90% reduction of risk factor for our top chronic diseases. So that's where we need to be in the store. And that's where we gotten away from when we went to this kind of a junky or vegan thing. So I focus more on the whole food plant-based, but I'm vegan because I'm also vegan for the animals. I do not climate is a real thing. We have children and we have family. We don't want the next 100 years where there be no water, because it takes 1,800 gallons of water to make 1 pound of hamburger. So
repeat that one more again.
So it takes 1,847 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. You have to feed the cow water, and and it takes, for instance, that's 39 bathtubs full. Just get a visual. So 39 full tubs full, so you can have one Wendy's burger. The single, not the double. The single, whatever a pound is, a pound of beef takes 1,847 gallons of water. No one goes to the store, or at least I didn't. I never went to the store and got a single pound. And you use it in different applications. But for a variety of reasons, it's unhealthy for the human, it's unhealthy for the planet, and it's unhealthy for our grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And for the animal, of course, it's completely, deadly. So.
Wow. You are definitely giving me a history lesson. So let me ask you this.
I'm an educator, Morgan. What do you think was going to happen?
You are an educator, but you're also a teacher. I know you're an educator, and I know you would dub that, but you actually are. It's more of a teacher, not just about vegetables, but just about history as far as the things that we're eating. So I know you said you were a chef. So how did you go from cooking all the fattening foods to now transforming to be cooking the healthy things? And how did you was able to include that in your diet, your life, your living, and not, oops, let me get some margarine or let me get this, because if you're used to, as we say, generations and ancestry, we're used to getting that fattening butter and margarine and making our collard greens with meat in it or cabbage with meat in it, especially the pork. I don't use that. I at least use turkey products. How did you transition to that?
And so because of that's a very good question, Morgan. The reason that I didn't transition anything. I went from zero, and most people transition, and that's okay unless you're in disease. I didn't transition because I thought I was going to not have a husband. So my immediate response was educate. I was already in the food space, learn about the things that are cholesterol laden. And of course, the first thing that's cholesterol laden is oil. and it's present. And then I learned about, okay, what animals are, what food is fatty? What food has a lot of fat? I was very shocked to learn that salmon, shrimp, it was very disturbing. Eh, I used to like lobster, and I like to eat, again, I loved animals, but I was like a walking contradiction. But then I would eat these animals, but I felt sorry for them at the same time. But anyway, I was eating them like you and everybody else. And to learn that the nutritive, that's my dog being bad, the nutritive issues that come with this lifestyle. I didn't transition. I just made a cold turkey, and I educated myself as I went. So it wasn't easy at first, but if we can season chitlins and make chitlins amazing, we can certainly season up some collard greens. Do I have to say more? So
No,
we
you don't need to say.
we as a people, we are so, again, chicken, fish, none of these things have flavor. None of these things have flavor. You've never eaten a piece of ham or chicken or anything without seasoning on it. Why? Because it has no taste. It is just flesh. The only place you're getting seasoning is from the vegetables, fresh herbs and spices, salts, peppers, garlic powder. All these things are vegetables. These animals do not inherently, whether they're fish or not, you're getting flavor from fish from butter. There's no flavor of a shrimp. Shrimp has no flavor. It's what you put on it. So, but what you're getting when you eat it is chronic disease. You're eating yourself to death. So what you're putting to tap into it is only making you sick. So what I did with, how did I transition? I didn't. I just learned what cholesterol was. I learned what to take out, and I replaced it with technique and with shifting my mind more ancestrally, because our ancestors, contrary to popular belief, our original ancestors were not on a slave diet. They were eating, yams and cassava, and they were eating fruits and melons, and they were getting things they could pick, right? Or forage, right? And only had these big old meat things when they had a big wedding or a funeral, and they'd only have a little piece, right? So that's kind of my mindset, was like, they used to cook it up. I mean, we learned all our great cooking skills from our ancestors. Now, slavery, we were able to do some things, but we should have left the slave diet on the plantation, and we did not. But we should have kept the seasoning and things, because we got those directly from ancestral behaviors and understanding of how to nuance food, real food. So I just kind of took a step back and looked at what other people had already done that had been already vegan. It wasn't a new thing. I looked at some of the black and brown vegans, more so because of the flavor. It's just like it's still the same thing. Y'all be putting raisins in the potato salad. It's the same thing. So I looked like toward those who were melanated to get some direction. And then I put my spin on it from what I was already doing, because my company was already doing a lot of vegetables. I just
I think you're having a signal issue. If you can hear me, we're having some technical difficulty at this time, people. So just bear with us just a moment. Dawn, I don't know if you can hear me. Well, guys, we're having a technical difficulty right now on Dawn's end, but I promise you, she's giving us an earful right now about plant-based eating, about vegan living and lifestyle, helping us live healthier lives and live longer lives. And she's giving us a lot of information. Looks like she's coming back. So just bear with us just a moment. Wow.
I'm back.
Okay, you're back. You're back.
It said the whole time you're in. Everyone can still see and hear you. So we'll see on the playback.
We will.
But I went and shut down. See Apple. Anyway, we're not even gonna get into that. Anyway, bottom line is, I didn't do a lot, Morgan, as it related to anything massively different because I was always, my name of my company was Herban-Eats. So I was always using a lot of herbs and spices, but I used them for the meat and for the vegetables. So again, for, you're just using a little liquid smoke for your collards, right? And not too much because it can be very abrasive. And just knowing how to cook. If your greens aren't good, that is not good. If it takes a ham hock for your greens to be good, then you just don't know how to make greens.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. I tell people that all the time.
If you can't make greens without a turkey leg has no taste. The smoked turkey neck bone or the neck or the wing or whatever, it tastes like smoke. It has no flavor. They had to put it in the smokehouse. And you're getting a little bit of the smokiness. So if you want the fat, what do you need the fat for? What are we really talking about? It's just an addiction to food. It's a food system. We've normalized addiction and poor health. And it's something we need to get away from as a community because we need to free ourselves and liberate ourselves from this toxic cycle.
Wow. So you said your company, Herban-Eats. When did you actually officially form your company?
So there's two sides of what I do. Herban-Eats is I started Herban-Eats when I was in Charlotte before I came back to Charlotte in 2006. It didn't become plant-based until 2017.
Oh, okay.
So I was selling meat. I was selling y'all meat. I was selling for a long time. I was selling meat very successfully. So not proudly. So I just didn't know what I didn't know. And it's okay that we don't know things. Sometimes when we're talking to a vegan or a whole food plant-based person, we're thinking what you're thinking is the same thing I was thinking. Oh, I'm not going to tell them really they're judging me. No, if they're judging you, you shouldn't be around those folk because what you really want them to do is educate you. And that's what we all need to be doing is educating each other. As we learn, we share with our community so that we don't keep having these disproportionate deaths and disability from chronic diseases that are preventable, largely preventable from a whole food plant-based diet up to 90%. So you didn't know certain things in this conversation. Imagine if you and I sat down once a month. This is how we change the paradigm of Black health through education. And then you get your why, and then you're gone. You're about to save your whole community. You're about to change the life of your grandchildren.
Well, let me ask you this. So, we always get our yearly exam. I know with my job, you have to do your yearly exam. So when you change from the unhealthy way of eating and lifestyle and went from there to the healthy eating and lifestyle, how much were you went to your provider and they saw that difference, how much of a jump or a big drastic change they noticed when they would check your HDLs, your LDLs, and all those list of numbers?
Right. That's another. Listen, Morgan did her research. I'm impressed with Morgan, ma'am. Morgan did her research.
I told you, don't sleep on me.
Morgan did her research now. So your LDLs and HDLs, so you have good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Your full panel changes completely on a whole food plant-based diet. Even on a somewhat of a junky vegan diet, you're still going to get significant changes because your fat and saturated fat and oils and things come from your diet and lifestyle. And it takes a couple of weeks to reverse diabetes, type 2 diabetes. It doesn't take a year. You can even reverse heart disease. You can literally reverse what is heart disease? What is it? It's your endothelial cell dysfunction, and it is what is in the cell that's making it clogged. This is a question for you. I'm going to answer the question because there's no need to do guessing game on your time. It's oil. It's fat. What is fat? It's from the food. The oil, you don't get born, most people are not, it's not congenital. It is degenerative diseases that we're dying from. It's degenerative diseases that are costing 96 cents of every dollar of Medicare dollar and 83 cents of every Medicaid dollar. That's costing $5,300 per person in your house on taxes a year. to the tune of $3.7 trillion a year for all of us from fat in there. And you know what that is? That comes from chicken. 70% of its calories from fat. Squid, loaded with squid, shrimp.
Keeping the healthcare industry booming. Like I work for the hospital system, so I know keeping those machines flowing.
And unfortunately, only 27% of medical schools have any single course on nutrition. They have one course, 27% of American medical schools. So that means the other 73 medical schools have no courses on nutrition. And then who are you asking about health? You go to your doctor who looks like he needs a doctor or she needs a doctor in most cases, and you're asking them who have no nutrition information, you're asking them what to eat. And they say, oh, cut down on your starchy starches and do a low-fat diet. No one, that is, most of them have heart disease. Again, 7 out of 10 Americans have it. So what makes them, they don't not get counted. They don't learn in medical school that. They're great for a broken leg or a broken arm or cracking your chest open once you have a heart attack, but they're not good at preventative or holistic medicine or the things that prevent and arrest and reverse disease. They're good at dealing with the problem and managing it. Okay. So you need to find people and go to places where you can get that source of information. And that's where we're lacking as a community. And that's why you need Vegucators.
So, are you the original Vegucator, or were there other people that were came behind you? I mean, before you, prior to, like, because I love the term. I promise you. Like, going to Vegucator, and then like
Vegucators. So the Greenville News.
Where's your shirt? I need you to have your shirt the next time I see that says.
I'm gonna get a shirt. I'm gonna get a shirt that says Vegucator. So the Greenville News. I did an interview with a reporter in Greenville, probably 2018 or something. She called me the Vegucator. I had no interest. I hadn't come up with it. I'm the first one.
Well, go ahead and get your t-shirt.
I'm trademarked, so it's all good.
Get your t-shirt and put your name on it and put the title on it. You got another title. You got to wear another hat.
Now I wear it. People know me as a Vegucator, but we need to. But you need to be a Vegucator. I need every vegan to be a Vegucator. We got to stop. We got to talk about low caloric, high nutrient, high fiber, high antioxidant foods, and all that really means is plants, vegetables, minimally processed, delicious, and flavorfully created and crafted. That doesn't take all day to make. We just need to get back to that, what our ancestral roots were, because there's certain parts of Africa right now that you'll still go and don't have no heart disease. They live to be 100 centenarians. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are 5 places, centenarians all over the world. There are 5 places that have centenarians in high number, and they're eating mostly plant-based diet. Mm-hmm. And I hate to use the word diet, but their lifestyle is they walk a lot. They eat minimally processed food. There's not a chicken place on the corner everywhere. There's not food deserts or food apartheid communities where they're surrounded by fast food restaurants and dollar places that have junk food in them. There's different. It's different. They're picking stuff. They're eating stuff. It's mostly plants. They have a lower stress lifestyle, and they're walking. They're sleeping. Mm. I mean, it's just a change of lifestyle. But the primary piece of that lifestyle change needs to be what you're eating and what you're drinking.
So let me ask you this: have you started are you working on forming classes, like mini small classes, to teach people like me or other people who decided, well, I may want to go through that lifestyle, but I need to know how to prepare, what to buy, like you said earlier with the dairy, the milks. I was told, so I started doing things, Coach Color scared me a lot when my dad passed, by your blood type. Certain things you're not supposed to eat according to your blood type. So I started changing the whole milk. I drink oat milk. I'm just trying something different.
That's good that you're trying something different. That's good. So please throw that diet in the same trash can where the keto diet is. Yeah. Throw that all in the trash.
Well, I've never tried the keto diet.
Not you, but to Morgan's lovely audience, stop with these diet lifestyle. Change your mind, change your community. Try these sustainable lifestyle changes is what changes your life. So I do have something called Power is Giving. It's a nonprofit. I do free classes. We have free programs. So if you go to powerisgiving.org, I have Herban-Eats, which is my for-profit entity, but I also am executive director of Power is Giving. And Power is Giving holds summits. We have like quarterly education where we bring doctors in to tell you what I just told you, but we bring in clinicians that are Black and brown. We bring in nutrition experts, and we let you have free tasting of food that is plant-based, that is not a hot dog, sausage, or a fake burger. Now, we might have a Krabby Cake, but that's made of hearts of palm and it's not made of fake meats, right? So we try to make sure that you don't start onto this lifestyle in a manner that was unhealthy like the other one, because you're going to slide right out the wagon and go right back over there. That's what will happen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be one of those people that's going to take it one step and day at a time. As you said, as I told you, I do drink the oat milk now. I'm trying different things. I even went to it's off of Tuskegee where Chef Jewel works at.
Love in Action.
Yeah, Love in Action. I went by there to try, and then of course when I came to your event when we met last year. So I'm working on slowly but surely transitioning. It's not going to happen right away, but I've been working on and implementing it, incorporating different food things. So how do you empower? How do you motivate others who that lifestyle has always been, I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to eat my beans. I'm going to eat my pork and beans. I'm going to eat my hot dogs, my sausages, my chicken. I don't care what you say I'm going to do. How do you empower them or inspire them to say, hey, one step at a time, of course, to motivate them to transition, mainly focus more on the healthy side than the unhealthy side?
So great question. So two answers. If you are in disease, if you're currently in disease, I do not recommend a walk, because you might die before then. Let's be honest. Every 4 minutes, someone dies of a stroke. Every 40 seconds, someone has one. Every 3 minutes, someone has a heart attack. 2 million people die a year from chronic diseases. Can you imagine how many plane loads of people, $2 million people a year dying, when we're spending $3.7 trillion to combat it, but we're still dying at 3.7 trillion? But that being said, if you're in disease, which means that you have a chronic condition right now, you need to make an immediate change. If you're not in disease, the transition is recommended, but don't start find your why. That's the first thing. You've got to harness yourself to a why, and come to an ed. How do you do it? Come to some of my free programs. Go look up some of these programs on powerisgiving.org and see these things and things. Go find out when you can go to some of these programs. You can go to Love in Action, but I would recommend you eat something there that is plant-based, this healthier. I don't recommend for anyone to have those kind of burgers and things unless you're it's the 4th of July and you can't get anything else and you're just trying it. It's not recommended as a part of a daily or weekly regimen in a whole food, plant-based, healthy lifestyle. But again, how do you do it? Look up on Happy Cow or vegan. There are different apps that you can find, and you'll be able to find restaurants that have vegan options. And restaurants like Love in Action, Oh My Soul, there's Jinya Ramen Bar, Black owned, Black female owned, right over there downtown Charlotte. They have a couple of vegan options, a couple of vegan ramens. There's Foha. They have vegan options up here. Langban. I mean, there's so many places that are vegan and not vegan that you can go to. There's a great food truck, Vigo food truck. He's got a nice amount of options. They're just a plethora of options. Just don't go junky, because if you start junky, you're going to stay junky. And then you're going to go back to your lifestyle, and then you're going to end up losing your life to a disease, a preventative chronic disease. And we don't want that for our community.
We don't, because it seems like the health crisis affected. I noticed that when COVID hit, the health crisis affected the brown and Black community much more than it did the other cultures of communities.
Right.
And by bringing you on, that really helps give me, of course, a history lesson and my lifestyle of eating, which I've been transitioning. I eat certain things, and then sometimes I backslide or whatever, because my body's shaped a little weird. So when I was losing my weight, people was like, something is wrong. My husband thought something was wrong. My kids thought something was wrong. And I was like, no, I'm just trying to lose this weight. And they was like, you need to go back. And I remember being at a job, and the lady said, girl, your one leg, your two legs is my one leg. And I was like, wow. And she said it out loud. So I had to find my balance. So do you have any events that are coming up?
Let me say something to what you just said, and then I'll tell you about my event on April 18th. Okay, so lose weight. Here's the thing: you can't have a why. Don't try to. If it's just for weight loss, there's so many things that you can do just to lose weight. If you want to change your lifestyle, that's what you need to be thinking about, because lifestyle impacts generations. Diet is temporary, and losing weight may or may not stay, because it is based on an idea that goes away. Because once you lose the weight, now you're like, okay, I'm successful. And then after 2 years, all the weight's back and more, right? Try to come up with a why that's much more substantive than weight loss, because that should not be you should want good metabolic health, good healthy gut biome, all those little terms. You should want to live a healthy, long life so you can walk your grandchildren down the aisle, see your grandbabies and play with them. You should want to be able to have water available for your great-grandchildren, because the water shortage is going to be next at 1,800 gallons a cow for a pound of beef. That's next. So that being said, don't try to come up with a different why. And don't worry about what people say. People typically say things like that because we've normalized obesity. 47% of African Americans are obese, and we're disproportionately affected by chronic disease because of our diet and choices and things. April 18th, I have something called Ed Talks. All my programs are called Ed, Eat, Drink, Disrupt. All the programs are Ed. So this particular Ed Talks program will be on April 18th. And if you want to know more about it, it's a 90-minute lunch and learn where you get free lunch. I think it's Creole red beans and rice, cornbread, and collard greens this time. Very good. And we'll have one of the top renowned doctors in the country, Michael Greger, will be on the Zoom, and he'll come in while you're eating and talk, and there'll be some moderated questions, and you'll have a 15-minute after that, 30 minutes to ask questions. And then you get to pack up your to-go lunch for dinner for free, and you get to leave. Then you get a vegan cookbook from Flavor My Plate.
You can't beat anything that's free. And a lot of people even turn down free unless their life is really busy. Right. So if anyone needs to find you or stay in contact with you or follow you on your path and the different programs and events that you have, what are your social media platforms? How do they get in contact with you, and all that great stuff?
I'm sure. So Morgan will probably have it in her when she does her wrap on the bottom. But so Herban-Eats, if you want to get some information on the issues with the different kind of vegans and the different kind of platforms and how you get in free on those resources. If you want to come to programming, that's Power is Giving. So that's powerisgiving.org. If you'd like to learn more about the Vegucator, because I'm the executive director of Power is Giving, that's probably where you want to be. Herban-Eats is not free. Vegucator is not free, but Power is Giving is free. So urban-eats.com, urban, HERBAN-eats.com, or powerisgiving.org, and it's phonetically done, powerisgiving.org. So either one of those platforms, you'll see all the information you need, and you'll be able to reach me on any of those inquiry pages on both of those pages.
So before we end, do you have anything you want to share with the world? Something that's going to impact them, empower them, or motivate them? Because I have a slogan for last year. My slogan last year was 2023 is all about me. Definitely 2023 was definitely about you, because I met you last year and you were moving and shaking. So my new slogan this year is 2024, more in store. So it looks like more in store will be healthy living, healthy lifestyle, living, as you said, to see your grandkids. And my grandkids love me and I love them, to see that next generation grow up to be healthy and wise and living. Do you have anything you want to share with the world that will impact them to carry them on in this new journey, in their new chapter of life?
Oh, I would just say, this, I think it's pretty much said it all, but liberate yourself. We've got to liberate our communities. We're literally in a crisis, a literal pandemic in our own communities, and we have decided that that's normal. We've decided that heart attacks are normal. Diabetes is because I have it in my family. We have all these myths. So let's just call it Mythbusters 2024. Let's work together to break these myths and to demystify how to get back to our ancestral health. It's literally evidence-based. We just got to get back to the truth, and we've got to liberate ourselves because we are not in anything but bondage right now.
Well, guys, Dawn, I really appreciate you for joining my show, guys. She gave us a plethora, a wealth of knowledge for free. Knowledge is power. Sharing is caring. And she provided that to us tonight, in the morning, afternoon, wherever time you are watching this, to save our lives. And it's all about that in this new season, and this new chapter of our lives. It's about saving lives. And it's either you are or either you're not. It's either you are or you're not. I would like to thank you again for joining my show again. Guys, thank you. Please follow Dawn Hilton-Williams, the Vegucator. She's on all social media platforms. Check out her website. Check out her events. Check out her sessions. It's all about surviving. It's all about surviving. And again, thank you again for joining my show. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Please be safe and be blessed.
Thank you. All righty, Ms. Ma'am.
I'm Morgan Reese, inviting you to tune in weekly for some empowering, enlightening, and embracing conversations to kickstart your day on Good Morning Black People.